Good afternoon, you guys. It's your boy Bill Mahari here, represent MehariNation Sports Podcast here on a cloudy day here in the city of Minneapolis, Minnesota. A major salute to the entire LDBC and the basketball community. I'm just going to go on for probably about 10 to 15 minutes, but I really wanted to talk about the whole, KG and Timberwolves, beef or feud, whatever you want to call it. And this is really was inspired after a recent Twitter post by Kendrick Perkins, where he talked about how the Timberwolves should be the ones to retire Kevin Garnett's number 21 his jersey because he played so many years for Minnesota, and it's not right that they're doing injustice to him. You know what I'm saying? I'm just kind of paraphrasing what he was kind of saying, and to that I absolutely 100% agree. But there's a lot more to the story that many people on the outside do not understand. Now, living in Minnesota all my life and growing up watching Kevin Garnett play in the Target Center, I'm maybe a bit closer from a fan perspective, but I have my 2 cents on the situation here and why, KG has had it sustained in recent years against Glenn Taylor and the Timberwolves organization. Now, you have to go back to the day that you have to go back to when he was drafted, okay? We all know that Kevin Garnett was a fifth overall pick coming out of high school, and not many high school players had the courage to come out of the NBA to come out to the NBA. KG and then a year later, Kobe Bryant did the same thing. The one thing that people that really began to center around the beef was that when after KG played out his rookie deal, which is at least maybe 2 years or something like that. During the summer of 1997, when players were getting massive deals, were getting $100+ million deals and things of that sort. Because I remember Alonzo Mourning had a 102, actually $100.8 million deal with the Heat, and then Jack was getting 126. Actually 123 to play with the Lakers when he became a free agent. The Timberwolves at that time signed perhaps the biggest deal in NBA history when he signed $126 million for 6 years. Because of that deal, many fans, including myself, felt that the contract was going to be too risky because it would make it mutually impossible for the Timberwolves to sign players to build around or to keep key players. Now, basically in the late 90s, between 97 through 98, okay, we had Tom Gugliotta, who was an all-star in 97, and then she also had Stephon Marbury, who were childhood buddies with KG at the time. But when the deal was finally signed, sealed, and delivered, unfortunately, a lot of things changed afterwards. Gugliotta, left as a free agent because the Timberwolves weren't able to, to give him the contract that he was looking for, and then Marbury, became jealous of playing the second fiddle to Kevin Garnett, and basically forced himself out with a trade during the lockout '99, during the shortened '99 season to the New Jersey Nets. When you think about it, the Timberwolves, were making the playoffs through 97 and 03, but they got burnt out in the first round. You think about the players that we had to deal with. Besides Garnett, there was the egregious signing of Joe Smith, which stripped the Timberwolves of all their first round picks for the last 3 to 4 years by the late Commissioner David Stern. Okay, you also had Terrell Brandon, who ended up having knee injuries, and which ultimately shortened his career. You had Rachel Nesterovic, who was basically garbage. Okay, and then you had Wally Szczerbiak, who was a decent player who made an all-star team, who made the all-star roster in 2002, but was not much of it afterwards because all he did was just shoot all the time, and KD didn't like playing with Szczerbiak. You also had, Anthony Baylor, the same guy that elbowed KG in 2004 in the playoffs, which is really, really funny watching it back. But yeah, he still holds the record for most threes made in franchise history for career-wise. The problem was that with that contract was that the Timberwolves couldn't sign the players that they needed to build around KG. And then KG made the courageous choice to accept a $12 million pay cut during the summer of 2003, and which allowed the Timberwolves to sign both Latrell Sprewell and Sam Cassell. Okay, those three guys, I should say two guys, were basically the two players that KG needed to really get himself out of the first round. And it turned out to be the greatest season of KG's career when he won MVP and led them to the Western Conference Finals, where they ultimately ran into Shaq and Kobe, Peyton and Malone of the Lakers, and they lost in 6. Okay. Then after that, the team went downhill afterwards. Cassell was injured a lot. Sprewell was just, I don't know where his mind was, but he declined a contract extension, claiming that it wasn't enough to feed his kids. And then ultimately he retired, egregiously out of the league. You understand what I'm saying? And through KG's, loyalty to the franchise, he stuck it out as best as he could. Maybe too much to a fault, but he wanted to see the franchise, turn a corner and get the thing going. But when the writing was on the wall after 2007, the Timberwolves realized that they weren't going to keep, Garnett's contract for too long. And Kevin McHale, dialed up the phone and made the trade to the Celtics, where he ultimately won his only championship. Now we're going to pass through all that, and I'm going to talk to you guys more about KG's return. When KG returned to the franchise back in 2015, it was perhaps one of the most feel-good stories in the NBA at the time, because he spent so many years in Minnesota. He gave his heart and soul, his blood, sweat, and tears to that franchise that has not been relevant in recent years. And the one thing that KG was excited for was when Flip Saunders, the late Flip Saunders, who coached the team for so many years and who coached the majority of KG's career, came back to Minnesota in 2013 to become the president of basketball operations. And the vision of that team was to build a youthful team with some valuable veterans to help mentor the talent, which is the guys like the Andrew Wiggins and then later on the Karl Anthony Towns and the Zach LaVines of the world. You understand what I'm saying? And, Garnett was intrigued by that. And he waived his no-trade clause when he was playing with the Brooklyn Nets and accepted the trade back home to Minnesota. And then when he was talking with Brian Windhorst of ESPN, he said, I knew we had a vision and what he wanted to do. And that was the vision that we had. All right. And so KG was very excited and very hopeful because Flip Saunders had a vision of where he wanted to take the Timberwolves franchise. All right. And through some talks behind the scenes, apparently KG and Saunders had some interest of possibly buying the team from owner Glenn Taylor. Okay. Now, I don't know the full details of what, Flip Saunders wanted to do in terms of ownership or organizational, directions. And we don't know the full story of that. But, according to some of the reporting that I've kind of researched into it, was that, Flip and KG were going to be the figureheads in the purchase of the franchise from Glenn Taylor. But when Flip Saunders tragically died unexpectedly in 2015, things began to change. The talks of buying the team, ultimately went downhill after that. And as what Brian Windhorst said, he said, when Flip passed away, there was no advance warning. He collapsed one day and didn't regain consciousness. That was a tragedy because he laid the groundwork for this team, and that is giving the Wolves a chance to be a relevant team for a decade into the future. And unfortunately, with that loss of Flip Saunders, it kind of just held the franchise back a lot. And now, unfortunately, the franchise is held back to square one. When Garnett recognized that Glenn Taylor had no interest in selling the team and was not interested in what KG wanted to see from the team, KG kind of saw the writing on the wall and basically said, why put up with this? And, he left the organization, through bad feelings. You understand? Now, I don't know what really took place, the hidden talks there, because obviously I don't work for the organization and, we don't know what discussions that KG had with Glenn Taylor. But through the research and the reporting that I've been kind of looking into in the whole situation, is more along the lines of KG wanted to buy the team and wanted to continue to push through the vision of what his coach Flip Saunders wanted to have for the team. And when Glenn Taylor decided to go to a different direction and hire Tom Thibodeau as the new president of basketball operations and new head coach, KG, even though he liked Thibodeau, it was not in support of the move, but more importantly, he didn't approve the direction that Glenn Taylor was going. Then after that, things went downhill, and then KG left for TNT and has not returned back to Minnesota since. So the last time he played, he was in Minnesota was the final season that he wore the jersey in 2015, where he only played about 12 games that year before ultimately he retired. Now, when you really think about it, it's really, really sad and it's really, really unfortunate because KG gave so many years and so many moments to that one team, that he basically never knew of. And as we see a lot of people in the comments section, what's going on, P Money, 88 Sports Talk, 89 TV, how you guys doing? Hey, Tay Brown, I hope you had a good weekend. Now, let me get back to this work here, okay? So, when KG was on the then show called Area 21 on Turner Sports, he said in an interview that he still has some interest in buying and being part of an NBA ownership group, and but he said he would never ever partner with the owner right now in Glenn Taylor of the Timberwolves. But he said he would love to have interest in buying Taylor out as ownership. You understand what I'm saying? So the basically what I'm trying to tell you guys is that this has been a long-standing beat. It's not just happened in recent years. It's been kind of building up to what's going on right now. And the unfortunate thing is that now the Celtics are going to retire his number 5 jersey next season. And it's really unfair because KG should be retiring the number 21 jersey in the Target Center along with his buddy Malik Sealy. All right. And the thing is that he gave so many years to the organization that he, played his heart out for, and they did him no favors and basically did him nothing. They did nothing to help this man out, at least make a deep playoff run or try to at least build a team to win the championship, and flat out just wasted all of the man's years. So when you could talk about it from his perspective, you could understand how he feels like I gave so many years to this one organization, and you're basically keep cutting me and keep, ruining my opportunities at every corner. The hell with y'all. But sometimes, but you also have to, but I can also understand the perspective of Glenn Taylor in the perspective of, listen, it may be the direction that Flip Saunders wanted to go with, but at the end of the day, I'm the owner and I have a direction where I want to take the franchise to, and I still own the team. So at the end of the day, though, guys, it's kind of both ways, but it's kind of a building up feud that has been going on for almost a decade. And unfortunately, neither side is willing to cave in. Even though the Timberwolves said last year that we would publicly retire his number 121 jersey, KG hasn't accepted the invitation. So we don't know what's going to happen from here. But what I hope for is that hopefully at the end of the day, that both sides can finally mend the fences together and celebrate a great Hall of Fame career, Kevin Garnett, who is going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, this year. You understand? And hopefully put this to bed and close the chapter on a great career that KG had in Minnesota. But based on the stuff that I've researched and the stuff that I've been telling you guys, I don't think this is going to happen. And I think it's going to be a while before ultimately either the organization or KG is just going to have to swallow their pride and, mend the fences and do what's necessary, not just for the teammates that have played with him, but also for all the people that basically loved KG and adored him as a franchise player. So that's just my 2 cents of the situation there too, guys. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully that things could work out, but I just don't see that happening. I'm gonna come back later on today, guys. Peace.